Let's expose one of Disney's very dark policies. So this policy involves all the character actors at Disney. So if you get severely injured while working there, no matter what, you have to stay in character. So one man, before accepting the job as Water Goofy, was told that in an event that he started drowning, lifeguards had to carry him away before they could remove his costume and perform CPR on him. He literally could be dying in the costume and need medical attention right away, but Disney won't allow it. Like I said, all characters need to be carried away before any sort of medical attention can be provided. Okay, I get it. They do this in order to preserve the magic at Disney. But come on, that is severely messed up. In fact, because of this policy, a lot of character actors have been severely injured. Let's talk about the dark truth behind Disney's abandoned park. Discovery Island. Discovery Island was an island in the middle of Bay Lake that Disney World visitors could get to by a boat. It opened in 1974 and it was known for having an incredible amount of exotic birds. It was basically like a miniature zoo. But in 1989, it got ugly for Disney. Disney employees were exposed for harming the animals. These employees were shooting, trapping, and injuring the birds. PETA got involved and it was just this huge big mess. As a result, Disney lost a lot of customers. In 1999, the park closed for undisclosed reasons. Now the island is still there, it's just completely abandoned. Don't even try and go there though, because you'll get arrested if caught trespassing. Needless to say, this island has a pretty dark and messed up past.
What was the most dangerous animatronic in Disneyland's history? Well, it was one that didn't last very long. And it's one of many animals that was in Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland, which is where Big Thunder Mountain stands now. Most of these animals were not dangerous. In fact, they were just stationary. But a few of them featured some basic animation, like the battling elk. And also this little bear that ran away. There was moose and warthogs and bobcats and all kinds of other creatures in Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. But the most dangerous was the mountain sheep, which Bob Gurr calls the most successful animal he ever did. It was installed in the pack mule train ride, but not for very long. All it was programmed to do was walk out from behind some rocks and greet the guests that were riding the mule train. But the first time they tried it, the lead mule got so startled that he reared back and then the whole train fell into the river, including the guests. They waited a week and tried again, but the mules remembered that spot and they refused to go past it. The sheep was removed and never used again, but at least we still have Billy the goat.
Talking about a very creepy urban legend surrounding Walt Disney himself. Legend goes that Walt Disney had his head cryogenically frozen. The legend started back in 1967 when a reporter snuck into St. Joseph's Hospital, the hospital that Walt Disney passed away in. That's where apparently he saw Disney's frozen head. Now here's where the legend gets creepier. So of course you've heard of the movie Frozen, am I right? Let it go. Well, theory goes that this movie was actually created as a diversion. Let me explain. Nowadays, when you Google Disney Frozen, only the movie pops up. But before the movie was created, if you typed in Disney's Frozen, then the whole legend about Walt Disney freezing his head would pop up. So it's believed that this movie was created so that people would stop finding out about Disney freezing his head. It's a crazy theory, I know, but maybe it's true and Disney will come back to life. So if you're a big Disney fan, then you would know that Disney has a secret underground tunnel system. Now they mainly have this for the Disney workers so that they can get around the park secretly. Now the tunnel system is huge and it's pretty easy for people to get lost. Here comes the urban legend. Legend goes that a new hire for Disney got lost in the tunnel system. The other workers thought it would be funny to haze him, so they locked him in down there. And they turned off all the lights. Legend goes that he was wandering around in the dark for hours. The next morning when they found him, he had scratches all over his body and he was huddled in a corner. He was mumbling something about how he saw things down there.
So I always thought no one ever dies at Disney. Like even if something horrible happens, they get the person off the park so they can always say that no one's ever died there. But then I found out not only is that not true, but a law firm has compiled all of the incidents. I'm going to share a few of them with you, but if you're interested in stories like this, make sure you follow the podcast because tonight's episode's just going to be these stories. So 2 of the park's worst accidents have both happened on the Matterhorn ride. One of them being a woman named Dolly who in 1984 fell off of one of the back of the sleds onto the rails. At the time, these gondolas used to go into the rides, and so there was actually a family that watched her fall off onto the track. And so the family also saw as there was another car racing towards Dolly. The dad actually screamed at his daughters to cover their eyes, which was for the best because Dolly got hit hard. She got hit so hard that when EMTs arrived on the scene and were going up into the ride, there were park attendants coming down telling them not to look. And so finally, when someone was looking at the car she was in, they noticed that her seatbelt was unbuckled. but it's never been confirmed if she unbuckled her seatbelt herself or if an attendant didn't check her seatbelt well enough and it was never buckled in the first place.